This story begins, and we see hell. And there are many souls in this hell. Who is screaming in pain. And all she is saying is, pain. It's so painful. Let me out. Bai Qingling. You despicable and shameless demon. I want to tear you into shreds. Then we see that someone is sitting on the throne. And he is asleep. And then he wakes up after hearing the voices of those spirits. His eyes open. And that is a huge shock. And he has covered his nose. And he is saying, such an evil smell. Did I transmigrate? Isn't this the final boss scene from the game I played previously? I remember that's the villain boss was called something like, it's him. This is him. Demon Lord Qingling, Bai Qingling. Unexpectedly, I transmigrated into the biggest villain. But this guy is a vicious character, and he even controls 3 beautiful disciples. Demon Lord Qingling, Bai Qingling, is the common final villain from all ending roots in the traditional Chinese-style game Immortal Love. He deceived his master and eradicated his ancestors, and even planned to have his own master tossed into an alchemy furnace to be refined into a human elixir. To keep the matter of his master's murder secret, he also used forbidden spells to massacre his sect. He only left behind one little junior martial sister, and became a fugitive on the run. At the end of the game, Bai Qingling used his identity as Tsungming sect's Yiluo temple master to fight to the death with the strongest person of the righteous path Xilun. Bai Qingling spent 1,000 years of cultivation and paid a heavy price to barely escape back to the Tsungming sect. Right now, Bai Qingling has just painstakingly escaped back to his old den, and this is the storyline close to the final ending. Demon Lord Qingling at his peak was at the immortalization stage of cultivation. And now he has fallen into such a pathetic state. I remember clearly that at this point, the Bai Qingling in the original game was going to die soon. He would be poisoned to death by his most trusted 3rd disciple. Just then someone comes to that place. And Demon Lord gets surprised after hearing her voice. And that girl knocks the door and she says, Lord Master, are you inside? It's time for yours medicine. And as soon as Demon Lord hears the girl's voice, he recognizes who she is. And we see the face of that girl, who is looking very cute. And the girl remembers that she has received orders to kill him. Xinger. This is the only choice. Once you kill that person, everything will be over. Then Demon Lord opens the door. And Xinger starts entering the hall. And Demon Lord is thinking after seeing Xinger, she's here. It's just like the original game. My 3rd disciple Xinger has been instigated to use the opportunity of providing medicine to use the poison pill given by the main male character Xiaoqun. Right now, I am Bai Qingling, and Demon Lord Bai Qingling is me. I don't want to die yet. At the very least I can't let that charming horse main character Xiaoqun enjoy my disciples. And then Demon Lord's system gets activated, and the system says to Demon Lord, congratulations. To the host. You've been bound with the legendary Great Love System. You've received a beginner's quest to use Great Love to influence Xinger emotionally. Influence her to let go of her resentment, and become completely devoted to the host. But Demon Lord is very shocked to hear the name of the system. And he's thinking, what the hell? A Great Love System? Isn't Bai Qingling a Demon Lord who does all kinds of evil without batting an eye? Even if it's a common cheat for a transmigrator, it shouldn't be so ridiculous. Wait. Not necessarily so. In the original game, developing goodwill from Xinger only started after my death. This also means that even though the story progressed to this stage, she still couldn't bear to let me go. Whether Bai Qingling likes her isn't important to Xinger. This brat is the only point of breakthrough for me. Then Demon Lord makes a gesture with his hands, due to which all the bones at that place fly away. At the same time, Xinger is shocked and has closed her eyes. Then she opens her eyes, and sees that the entire ground has been cleared. And Demon Lord is smiling, then he says to Xinger, no need to be so cautious. Come closer, Xinger. And Xinger is very surprised to hear Demon Lord's words. And she's thinking, is this my imagination? The man who was always above everyone else, his voice actually had a hint of warmth. Then Xinger bows before Demon Lord and says to him, This disciple greets martial master. No. Greets master. At the same time she is thinking, be brave, Xinger. There's nothing to be afraid of. Martial brother Shaoqing used his life to guarantee that Master No, Bai Qingling's vitality is greatly injured. As long as he consumes this Void Soul Eater pill, his body will perish while his Tao will disperse, and he will not be reincarnated. Then Xinger says to Demon Lord Master, the spiritual herb garden that Xinger is responsible for has produced another batch of 100-year-old spiritual herbs. Currently, I present to the Master the 9 transformation magic pill that you asked for a while ago. And Demon Lord says it's ready so quickly? Are you sure this pill is properly refined? And Xinger says, 11 Xinger does not dare to be neglectful. Xinger and the elder from the blood refining hall refined this pill day and night for 2 months. The quality of this pill should be at least 7th grade or above, Xinger requests. For Master's benevolence. And Demon Lord starts coming closer to Xinger, and he is saying, 7th grade? Then why is there a 9-colored glow near the entrance of the bottle? When were you in the blood refining hall able to refine a 9th grade pill? And as soon as Xinger hears this, he starts panicking. And she is saying it's the effect of supplementary ingredients. I added supplementary ingredients. And on hearing this, Demon Lord starts staring at Xinger, then says to her, was it intentional accidental? And Xinger gets very scared after listening to Demon Lord. And she bows down in front of Demon Lord again, and starts apologizing. And she is saying, please don't worry, Master. Although I've only added supplementary ingredients, it still has the effects of an original 9th grade pill. If there is any loss in the effect, Xinger is wanting to be severely punished. And Demon Lord is thinking, such eagerness to convince me to consume it. My good disciple really wants her master to die quickly, but a person at his most anxious state is when he is at his weakest. The foreplay must be sufficient, for the so-called great love to penetrate deep into the soul. Then Demon Lord takes out the pill from the bottle, and starts looking at him. And Xinger is saying, Master, are you going to take it immediately? Then Xinger starts remembering the past, how she held Demon Lord's hand when she was younger. And Demon Lord was looking at her smiling. And Xinger is remembering all these things. Then she says to Demon Lord, if Master is not satisfied, why don't I take the pill back into the furnace to refine it again, And Demon Lord starts touching Xinger's cheek, and says to her, why do you hate me so much? That you want to kill your master so eagerly? And as soon as Xinger hears this, she becomes very shocked. And Demon Lord says to Xinger, come with me. And Xinger says, Master, do you not believe in Xinger? But Demon Lord says, keep up, no more questions. Then Xinger stands up and starts following Demon Lord into the basement. And Demon Lord has a smile on his face, and he is thinking, as expected, she still doesn't have the courage or conviction to go against me. Then I can turn things around as long as I use this to my advantage. Then we see, blood storage basement level. And as soon as both of them reach the basement, there is a huge door made of bones in front of them. Seeing this, Xinger is very surprised. And she is asking, Master, what is this? But Demon Lord is thinking, this is where Bai Qingling ingested the poisonous elixir. It's also the place where the original main character Shao Chen made his final attack. The game made it seem more peaceful, but it's actually so cruel seeing it firsthand. These were all people from the Cyclops clan who lived in the Great Shirwan Mountain in Nanjiang. I was once deceived by the clan leader, Tuoba Changyu. I endured such extreme torture that I was better off being dead. Tuoba Changyu wanted to take away my innate demonic powers. Thankfully, my demon blood activated at the last minute and I escaped successfully. After my demonic art was completed, the first thing I did was return to the Great Shirwan Mountain to pay back the hospitality shown by the Cyclops clan. And Xinger is thinking, Master. It's not just Master's master who wanted to take his demonic power, but the Cyclops clan also plotted against him. Anyone who has experienced this type of treatment would become ruthless and nonchalant towards this world, right? Master. He shouldn't have been treated that way. But senior sister already told me about this man's true face. If I don't kill him this time around, Who knows how many lives will perish by his hands? And Demon Lord says to Shinger, but not Theses. What I truly want you to see is inside. And Demon Lord opens that big door. Then both of them start going inside her. And as soon as both of them go ahead, Shinger sees that something is flying in the air, seeing which Shinger is very surprised. And she is saying these are Shadow Demon Pearls? And she remembers that her senior sister had told her to do it. The Shadow Demon Pearls can monitor a person's every move and provide feedback upon the owner's wish. The Shadow Demon Pearls in your room were crafted by a master. They've been monitoring us ever since we joined Master. We are not his disciples but tools on a leash. Just things he can touch as he pleases. And remembering the words of the senior sister, Shinger is thinking, the second senior sister told me to pretend not to know about the existence of those pearls, but now, why is he showing these things to me himself? And Demon Lord says to Shinger, Shinger, raise your head and look closely. And Shinger is listening to Demon Lord. Then Demon Lord activates that demonic pearl, so that energy starts coming out from that demonic pearl. And Shinger sees the scene from her childhood, when her family was attacked by some people. And his family was killed. And some people were saying to Shinger, this rotten child is still crying. Crying. So annoying. Shut your mouth. And that attacker had raised the sword to kill Shinger. And Shinger was very scared. But then someone attacked those two attackers from behind. And the attacker was Demon Lord. And Shinger was very surprised to see Demon Lord at that time. And she was asking, who are you? At that time Demon Lord had told his name to Shinger. And Shinger had bowed down in front of Demon Lord. And she was saying, are you a god? Help me, mommy and daddy, I beg you. And Demon Lord told him, gods disregard mortals, demons don't abandon the living. Come with me. And Shinger had asked Demon Lord at that time, where? So Demon Lord smilingly told Shinger that we have to go home, and Shinger is very surprised to see all these things. And Demon Lord is telling Shinger, Master has countless enemies. My disciples will also naturally become the targets of many people. This Shadow Demon Pearl is just one of my tactics for protecting you when you are in danger. And Shinger is surprised to hear this, and she says, Master, you mean, you were always using the Shadow Demon Pearl to protect us, and not monitor us? And Demon Lord tells, Master has deliberately treated and everyone in the worst knows that you have reasons to hate your master. If I accidentally die, you three sisters will still have a reason to stand on the enemy's side, and keep yourselves safe. It would have been best if I could keep this a secret forever. But you had already decided to kill your master, never mind. As long as Shinger is safe, everything else is not important. And after listening to Demon Lord's emotional words, Shinger hugs Demon Lord. And Shinger is crying and saying to Demon Lord, Master! Shinger was wrong. Shinger shouldn't have believed what the others said. Shinger is a big dummy. Shinger should have known from the start, Master is the best person in the whole world. Shinger was truly wrong. I beg for Master's forgiveness. Shinger actually. I really love my master. And we can see that Demon Lord has a Sigma male smile on his face, which should be above every Sigma male. If you also feel like this, please comment. After this, Demon Lord starts getting notifications from the system. And the system is telling Demon Lord, congratulations to the host. You've completed the beginner's quest. You've earned the following reward: 500 points golden treasure chest x1. And Demon Lord is surprised to see the system notification. Then Demon Lord is thinking, the quest is complete? This counts as using great love to influence her emotions? I can't afford to think too much. In order to survive, I must change the storyline of my eventual death. Shinger's loyalty is an indispensable factor for it. And Demon Lord says to Shinger, my rebellious disciple, I can't understand your behavior. Who is the scoundrel that managed to sweet-talk you into doing this? And Shinger says, yes. Reporting to the master, it was Yingui Temple's direct disciple Shaoqin. It was him that sowed discord between master and me. He even used sweet words to bewitch the second senior sister, and created a rift in the relationship between the master and his disciple. Everything that happened today was all because Xing'er was deceived by that Xiaoqin. I request the master to inflict the harshest punishment on Xing'er, as long as you don't chase me away. And after listening to Xing'er, Demon Lord says, since that's the case, this venerable one will give you a second chance. Help this venerable one with a favor, and I shall pardon all your sins. And Xing'er says, yes. Please give me your command. After this the scene shifts. And we see Songming's Sectute Temple. And we see a boy, and he is the original game's male lead, Xiaoqin. And Xiaoqin is saying, Senior Sister Tantai, why hasn't Junior Sister Xing'er come out yet? Could that demon have realized that something was off? Was the Junior Sister Xing'er exposed? And we see Bai Qingling's second disciple, Tantai Lingying. And Lingying is saying, as per Xing'er and my agreement, whether she succeeds or not, she will transmit word over to me as soon as possible. Since there's no news until now, it means that plan is still being executed. And Xiaoqin says, then to check it out myself. There is absolutely no room for mistakes. And as soon as Lingying hears this, she places her sword on Xiaoqin's neck. And tells him, I urge my lord to not be rash. The outside of blood storage is filled with terrifying restrictions, only Xing'er is permitted to enter. If you want to force your way in, you'll be seeking your own death. And after listening to Lingying, Xiaoqin says, let's Naya knit a longer. And then Xing'er starts coming to that place. And seeing Xing'er, Xiaoqin says to Xing'er, Junior Sister Xing'er is back. Junior Sister Xing'er. It's great that nothing happened to you. Your senior brother was so worried, and Xiaoqin moves his hand towards Xing'er. But Xing'er does not make any movement, due to which Xiaoqin gets a little confused. And we see Xing'er's innocent face. And Xiaoqin is getting confused, and he is thinking, are you seriously retreating? I've helped you all so much all these years, am I not even allowed to briefly hold your hand in such a situation? Then Lingying comes forward, and she says to Xing'er, Junior Sister, are you all right? Did you succeed? Why didn't you transmit word to your senior sister as per our agreement? And Xing'er says, replying to Senior Sister Xing'er, was successful. And Xiaoqin becomes very happy after hearing that they have become successful. And he's thinking, ever since I was 12, I've been undercover in the Tsungming demon sect, for a total of 10 whole years. Now that I've finally eliminated the giant of the demonic path whose name was known throughout the continent, I'll definitely become famous amongst the righteous path in the future. Then Xing'er says, Mas, that demon was arrogant to believe that he had already controlled me long ago, and consumed the void soul eater pill. During this period his emotions fluctuate greatly. I was afraid of exposing any of my weaknesses. That's why I didn't dare to transmit any word. And Xiaoqin says, if that's the case, then there's no need to rush. That poison pill was personally bought by my master from the black market using a hefty sum of gold. If we wait for 7 days for the poison to reach its peak, even the strongest of both paths won't be able to escape the fate of bodily death and soul destruction. Then Lingying says, it's not that we can't wait for 7 days, but Lingying has doubts and hopes that junior brother Xiao can clarify it. My master, although that demon committed countless evil, it doesn't seem like he had any grievances with junior brother Xiao. Why did you agree to cooperate with us, and even suggestion using such a vicious poison pill? And hearing this Xing'er says, that's right, and you even appeared to be so enthusiastic about it. And Xiaoqin is saying, it's naturally because I couldn't bear to see that demon abuse and bully the both of you for such a long time, and wanted to rescue you two from the sea of fire. Don't the two of you understand my concern for you? And Xing'er says, did you do this all for the two of us right from the start? And after listening to Xing'er, Xiaoqin says, No. No, what makes you think that? And Lingying tells him, forget it, let's end it for today and meet again after 7 days. It's getting late, junior brother Xiaoqin shouldn't delay Yingui Temple's evening lessons. Then Xiaoqin says, yes. Senior Sister Tantai, Junior Sister Xing'er, I will see you in the coming days. But he is wondering, why are women always so fickle? Then he starts leaving that place. And Lingying is saying to Xing'er, be honest with your senior sister. Are you deeply saddened? And Xing'er says to Lingying, senior sister, Have you ever thought that Master might not be what we originally imagined him? Perhaps he was a little harsh to us, but he would never harm us. And after listening to Xinger's words, Linging says to her, Xinger, the evidence that Xiaoqun brought has already proved that Bai Qingling only views us as materials for his human puppets. Even if all his nefarious acts this fact alone. And hearing this, Xinger is unable to say anything. After this we see Demon Lord, who is sitting on the throne. And he's thinking, I let Xinger buy some time for me to catch my breath. Xiaoqun and my second disciple will definitely not be able to discover at the start that Xinger has been won over by me. Right now, let's see the rewards that the system gave me. And a treasure chest appears in front of Demon Lord. And Demon Lord looks at the treasure chest and says, it's really identical to the treasure chest from the original game. Treasure chest open. Then the system tells Demon Lord, the opening is successful. Please select one of the 3 items within the treasure chest. First, adjustable divine road, personally crafted by the founder of the Hehuan sect. It is effective against female cultivators up to the same cultivation stage. Second, bedroom sutra, the arts of the shaft, a divine technique created by the first ancestral elder of the Huan 11 sect, capable of temporarily strengthening a specific part of the body. Third, Demon Lord's cultivation stage reversion experience card, reversing space and time to allow the host to revert back to anyone's cultivation stage. And Demon Lord is a little surprised to see those 3 items, and he is thinking, what the hell? Are these 2 things? Are they even used for demonic cultivation? They're clearly used for human cultivation. Sure enough, I have to choose this. And the system says, reversing space and time to allow the host to revert back to any cultivation stage. But Demon Lord again has the same Sigma male smile on his face. And he is saying, an experience card that allows me to revert back to any previous cultivation stage. Doesn't this mean that I could revert my cultivation to when Bai Qingling was at the peak of the immortalization stage?